everyone, it's Haze, and in today's video we are once again going to do the Miraculous Monday meme review, where my friend Hedge finds me the very best Miraculous memes from across the internet, and I react to them, and every time I sit down to film the meme review ever since season 5 finished airing, like my next reflex thing is to say about the show Bible. I feel like the opening of my video sounds so empty without it. And also apologies about my hair, this side seems poofy, it's going out in like a weird direction. I don't know, my hair is just strange. I don't actually like my hair very much, but anyway, let's get on with the meme review, besties. So the first meme: all of Marinette's friends losing their IQs and believing Lila's BS lies, including Alia. Main characters not believing Lila's BS lies because duh, they're the main characters. Sigma, Felix and Luca, who never met Lila, hence they never lost their brain cells. Well done. Has Luca never really met Lila? No, I don't think he has actually. No, that's a good point. But it still annoys me till this day because none of the people in the class are stupid. The only one I could really frame as being slightly less intelligent than everyone else would probably be Kim. But for example, Alia and Max, in my opinion, they're above average intelligence. Like, so how could they not see it? Like, in my opinion, the only reason Lila's lies work is because they're all basically stupid. That's the only reason they do work. But then, like, so they're stupid enough to believe it. Like, for example, I think it's in Revelation, so when they're giving their speeches to run for the class rep or whatever, and Lila's like, oh, maybe Marinette's right, maybe I am stupid or an idiot, whatever she said, whatever Marinette didn't say, and Alia's like, well, yeah, you did call her that. Like, no, she didn't. Like, you have selective hearing or something. I don't mind a character lying as their, like, part of their evil agenda, whatever. I don't mind it, okay? But, like, do it well. I don't know. I can never understand why they made it, I guess, like, so nonsensical. Like, I am assuming that this next season Lila is gonna be dressed up in some sort of disguise and is gonna be at this new school and no one's gonna know who she is. That's what I'm expecting, fair enough. But I'm assuming she's obviously going to be lying. I'm not sure what her real name is, which of these personas that she's got so far, Lila or Cerise, which one of those is real, if either of them, might be someone completely else, I don't know her real name. So I'm assuming she's going to have to lie and create this whole new life. I don't mind as long as it's plausible, you know what I mean? Like all this stuff with Lila saying she was like, she said she was in movies and was like a animal rights activist. Like, surely if you googled it you'd find she wasn't any of that. Like I said, it relies on more than being stupid. We all know they're not though, so I don't get it. Although saying that, I would love for Lila and Felix to meet because I don't think they like each other. I'd love to see what their reaction is to each other. Next meme: Scarabella beating the hell out of Cat Noir, and then Felix says, I'm here fighting 3 akumatized villains without superpowers and you are getting beaten by a rookie. Do better. And then Hedge said, oh well, at least his character gets some recognition by being useful in the finale. No. Right, first of all, ignore what Hedge says for now. It always annoyed me that Scarabella was able to beat up Cat Noir. Like, don't get me wrong, I know Alia is a good superhero, whether it's Rena Rouge, Rena Furtive, Scarabella, I know she's good. However, Cat Noir has a lot more experience on her. Like, we don't know precisely how many outings Alia had as Rena Rouge, but we know for certain Cat Noir had a hell of a lot more than her. Plus, on top of that, he is also trained in fencing. So that does give him some fighting technique, and as far as we're aware right now, Alia isn't really trained in any kind of fighting. The only other kind of extra fighting she does is on whatever the video game, the all-playing game is called, which I've conveniently forgotten the name of it, Mecha Strike 3, something like that. Other than that, she has no other experience. So for her to come in and be able to beat him up in Haxan, like, did not make any sense. But anyway, yes, back to Felix. I agree, he did great in his debut episode in terms of fighting everyone off. Not arguing that, but oh my god, him in the finale. Like, what was the point of Felix? I just didn't get him this season. Because first of all, it seems like, so he comes in and he's still very much like an anti-hero when he comes back in emotion, but then he starts to change a little bit in pretension. But then the next time we see him in representation, he just seems to be, I was about to say good guy, but I still don't quite see him as largely good. I know he does join the hero team in the end, but he's not, you know, a super great person, because him and Kagami's motivation for telling Marinette that play and telling her what they knew wasn't so necessarily she could defeat Monarch Daddy to free Paris. It's so she could defeat Monarch Daddy so they would be free to date each other. That was their motivation, not to save the city, not to save the world. To save their relationship. Which is just, like, it's cute and all, but it's just like... So I'm kind of surprised at Kagami that she was willing to go along with it. I kind of feel like Felix might have been a bit like, we need to tell her this because we need her help for our relationship, otherwise we're not going to be allowed to be together. Because, you know, Felix is a lot more morally ambiguous, morally grey, where I feel like Kagami has very strong morals. She's very black and white, like, no, that's bad, we need justice, kind of like the way her mum is. So, like, I feel like if Felix was like that, and then Kagami would be like, okay, yeah, that, but also, so, you know, we can free Paris from these Akumas and finally get the butterfly Miraculous safe, sort of thing. So I'm kind of surprised she went along with it for this motivation. And then for Felix not to show up. Like, I really, like, the whole time I was watching the finale, I was expecting Felix to break Adrian and Kagami out of their cells. Because I was assuming those cells were in London. I was 100% expecting that. And I was just sat there waiting and I was like, any moment now, Felix, come on, break them out, do it. No. What I think I kind of would have liked to happen is Felix break them out and get them to Paris, just as maybe Marinette's fighting Monarch, they get to the mansion, they make their way down to the basement because Felix could take them as a superhero, and he sees what's happening and he does indeed find out his dad is Monarch. I would have liked that even if no one else found out he was Count Noir, because obviously Ladybug, or rather Gabriel, would have it by then. So he would still know, but it wouldn't be as traumatising for him having to fight his dad. You know what I mean? And he wouldn't get akumatized because of it. I think that would have worked. Anyway, next meme. So it's Chloe saying, huh? I see it! Universes of developed brats! And out of all of them, I'm literally the worst one. I do still feel really bad for Chloe. Like, my problem is that whilst personally I would have liked a redemption arc for her, because they were doing a really good job up until, like, I guess after Miraculous, really. That's kind of where they stopped doing that, really. But they were doing a great job of it, so it seemed a bit strange they just stopped. I don't know if it was maybe someone else in charge and they decided to do the redemption and then someone else was like, ooh, why are we doing that? Oh, let's change it. I don't know what happened. But just like in general, I didn't really care if Chloe got a redemption or not. I just want whatever they did with her to be like well executed, well written. Like, in theory, I don't care what they do in Miraculous. Would there be some things I would like to see? Yeah, but really I don't care that much as long as whatever they do it well. Do it you like. Just do it a good job, you know? So that's kind of where I am with Chloe, is that I just feel they're doing very strange things with her. Like, I don't even know if she's going to be back for next season. And as much as I love her, I kind of hope she isn't, because I feel like it's just like character assassination at this point. Because the problem I'm having with Chloe at the minute is, whilst I know she's not a great person, is that I don't actually believe she would do a lot of the things she's done in the show, particularly this season. Like, the stuff in Derisions just seems so out of character for Chloe to do. The stuff with the mayor stuff, like, Chloe can't even be bothered with school. Why would she want to be the mayor of a city? Like, I just don't get it. And also just that mayor plot thing was just a bit odd to me. I really don't see the point of that whole plot other than for it being the reasoning of why Chloe was, it seems like that's their way of writing her out of the show by her leaving for, I'm assuming, New York with her mum. But like, if they hated her that much, why didn't they just kind of have her be like a bratty teenager in school and then write her out and just say, well, I'm going to a different school next year, away from all of you in a different country. I hope to never see you again. Why did they have to do that to her? I don't quite get it, to be honest. It was just strange. And on top of that as well, if Chloe really is gone, then I definitely feel they're gonna need a new character in the class to basically take Chloe's place. Because when you take Chloe out of the class, you know, they're a lovely group of people, they're lovely, but they're also painfully boring. Do you know what I mean? When they're all together, it's like, yeah, it's a lovely, nice time, but for a class dynamic in a TV show, that's gonna get boring really quick. They're gonna need a bratty Chloe type in there to liven it up a bit. You know, even if they aren't bratty all the time, maybe it's someone who has a nicer streak than Chloe might be nice, but like, the rest of the class, when they're together, they're lovely and they're great friends with each other, but it does get kind of boring after a while because they're all so super nice to each other, you know what I mean? We need a bit of more variety in there, and the rest of the class is pretty boring. Chloe was like a really standout, like to me she's like an iconic Miraculous character. So yeah, I am gonna miss her if this is the end of Chloe. It's okay, I'll just go back and watch season 2 Chloe. Season 2 Chloe was great, and also movie Chloe. I love movie Chloe. Next meme. Chloe bullying all of Adrian's friends. I won't break my friendship with Chloe. Chloe betrays Ladybug and an entire city teaming up with Hawkmoth. I won't break my friendship with Chloe. Chloe bullying her own sister and treating her father like a slave. I won't break up my friendship with Chloe. Adrian finds that Chloe has bullied Marinette in the past year. You are a monster, Chloe. I'm breaking my friendship up with you. Like, this is what I mean. Like, she's done all these horrible things. I understand Adrian was for most of these, you know, given the benefit of the doubt, and some of them were like Akuma cause. And like, if you were gonna hold the actions of an Akuma victim against them for their whole life, then I don't think anyone in Paris would have any friends left, because it seems like most of them have been Akumatized by now. But it was just like, plus as well, in my opinion, this is kind of one of the reasons I don't like Derision that much, is again because of Chloe's character. Like I said on the last meme, I know Chloe isn't a lovely person, but I don't think she's a monster. And what she did in Derision was like monster kind of behaviour. She was horrible, she was like bordering on evil, to be honest. But she hasn't done anything like that since. Now, why? I don't know. Maybe she decided to be a little bit nicer because Adrian was coming to school? Don't know. No explanation is given, and apart from when she's been akumatized in the past seasons, after what happened in Derision in the flashback, she hasn't been anywhere near as evil and horrible as she was in the Derision flashback. So this is kind of why, like, I just don't buy it. Like, why didn't Chloe continue? Why didn't she? Like, I understand, like, they didn't have stuff planned out and things like that, but if that's the case, then they should have had, like, a completely different character, maybe when Marinette was in, like, elementary school or whatever, who maybe did something similar to her that's really ruined her self-esteem, something like that. A character who we've never seen since, or perhaps just one day turned up at the swimming pool. Marinette hasn't seen them since she was, like, 10 years old or something. That's what I would have done. That way Adrian would still be there to protect her, but not make him, like, basically a massive hypocrite for, not necessarily, well, I don't know, I was about to say being complicit in Chloe's behaviour, but he kind of is, because he kind of doesn't hold her accountable up until then. You know what I mean? Do I make sense? I don't know. I have very strong feelings about the writing of Chloe. Anyway, next meme. So an iceberg. What Adrian knows, what Felix knows. Felix knows far too much. I've only just realised that stark difference in their eyes, how Adrian's are so big and he's so bright and happy, and Felix just wanders around glaring at everyone all the time. God, Felix. Like, someone left a comment the other day saying Felix was the best written character, and whilst obviously they're allowed to have that opinion, I really had to disagree, because Felix to me is just used as a plot device to get the plot moving forward. Because instead of having the mystery, for example, around Gabriel's identity or the alliance rings, you know, progressing at a gradual pace throughout the season where they find things out, the writers don't let Adrian and Marinette do that. They only find out things when someone tells them, usually Felix tells them, or when Felix does something, they find something out. So it's a bit strange. He's literally just a plot device to me to move the plot forward. Like, when Felix comes in, any progression feels so inorganic because he just tells it to people, or he makes an action that does make people move, when it's like, I kind of want Adrian and Marinette, who are meant to be pretty intelligent, to be able to figure things out on their own. Like, for example, in Ganga's Secrets, like, well, ever since Ganga's Secrets, I've been waiting and waiting, and it hasn't happened, for Alia to use her journalistic skills to do some research, try and help find out who Monica's possible leads, stuff like that. Because to me, so Marinette and Adrian have both managed to trick, on at least one occasion, the other person into not finding out their identity. So for example, in Kwame Buster, in Desperado, they've managed to work around it. Gorizill's another good example of that. So surely they must think by now, it's like, well, if I've managed to do it, then surely Hawkmoth may have been able to do it as well. It might have been someone who has already been akumatized. Like, I know there weren't many clues given, but if they'd worked it properly like a mystery, it would have been, I think it would have added so much more to the story, particularly season 4 and season 5, which are much more plot heavy, in my opinion. Anyway, next meme. Ladybug, I'm so happy you have a girlfriend. Cat Noir, thanks. I'm so happy you have a boyfriend as well. Lady Darmstrippers right now. I'm kind of disappointed with the love square this season. I'm gonna make a whole video about it. As much as I love Adrienne, I don't think it was executed well at all. I'll go more into it in that video, I'm not going to do it here, and I do kind of think it might have been a better idea to have Ladybug fall more for Cat Noir first, before she got into a relationship with Adrienne. But again, I'm on the fence about that too, because the way it was done in season 5 is she suddenly like fell for him. It was very odd. And then she very suddenly fell out of love with him when Adrienne was giving her attention in transmission. Plus as well, like, the only thing she found out about Cat Blanc, because she didn't know how the Akuma happened, is that he said their love did this to the world. So shouldn't that have therefore made her incredibly scared and worried to be with him because of the consequences that could cause? I didn't get it. It was, yeah, the love square this season was just a whole mess. But I'm just wondering what they're gonna do with Lady Noir now. Like, I guess they can't get together until they get an identity reveal. Are they even gonna bother doing that now? I think they have to do it. Like, I feel like it's what a lot of people are waiting for, whether they watch the show for Love Square or not. And I feel dragging it out is to the show's detriment at this point. Although I have seen a lot of people on Twitter saying, oh, we don't need it anymore because they're together now. And I'm like, no, I don't think that's true though. I think we need it. Because it would solidify their relationship, allow them to trust each other so much more. And even though I think an identity reveal would actually cause some arguments between them because of everything that's happened, I think ultimately it would be pretty healthy for them. I think we need it. Like, are we expecting them to get married and have kids and still never tell each other? Like, they desperately need to know, I think, at this point. Just my opinion. Anyway, next meme. Marinette, I failed my spelling test. Aha, you're so dumb. Oh, thanks, Hedge. That, yes, it is spelled incorrectly. Because the word was liar, but I thought Lila. That's what usually in people in my comments on my Discord, they spell Lila, L-I-E-L-A, a lie. Wonderful. Next meme. It's funny how Adrienne's girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend, and his cousin know about everything while he is still oblivious. And then Hedge said, you and I have different definitions of the word funny. Yeah, I don't think it's funny at this point. I'm just like, just tell him. Put him out of his misery. Like, he's kept in the dark so much, and I take people's point, like, a lot of the whole plot revolved around him because of his dad was using the butterfly Miraculous because of the sentimental stuff and the abuse and all this other thing. Like, I don't understand the reason for keeping him in the dark. Like, he's the same age as all of you. He's older than Marinette. He deserves to know. Tell him. He's not a baby. He's not fragile. Tell him. I'm desperate to see his reaction. Do you think bottling all these different secrets up until they fill like a massive jar and then telling him everything all at once is gonna go well? No, it's not. I think he's gonna be even angrier. Tell him when it happens, as and when it happens. It's not gonna be good. So the final meme of the meme review is a meme reviewer viewer's submission meme. So basically the instructions are on the screen, but basically you join my Discord server, which is linked down below, and one of the channels is for the meme reviewer viewer submission meme. It has to be a meme you've made, not one you just found. We have a separate channel for that, and basically everyone votes on it, and whichever one is the highest gets put in the meme review. So this week's winner is Gabe's 3D World, and the brain says, are you finally resting? Yes, be quiet. Defu release more images for the finale. Oh god, I remember that day. That was so tiring. Then I thought it was all over, and then suddenly they released more stuff for it was like the first like work in progress reverse trailer. Although it looks amazing, I'm really excited for it. Like, I think people think I get fed up with spoilers. I'm not. I get excited for it. I just wish they'd release them all at the same time. Like, could everyone talk to each other and get them all together and release within like a short window so we all know, and I could just make one video and then have a nap. Like, I remember that day, all I had to do that day was write up PhD notes, and I didn't write them up until 7 PM because of all the videos I had to end up doing. Yeah. Although, saying that now, I'm enjoying having a bit of downtime. If you know, right after the finale, I uploaded a video like about channel updates, which I filmed before the finale, but I'm doing much better, I think, stress-wise and handling everything, because, you know, basically I've got extra time to be able to handle stuff. I feel like I've got more time to script and plan out videos, and then I think, in my opinion, they are better produced because I have a little bit more time. I'm definitely feeling better in myself because I just feel like I have more time to do channel stuff, to do PhD work. So yeah, it's been really helpful with my PhD. Like, my supervisors have now told me I am working too fast. And I was like, well, I have all this extra time. I'm not doing 3 videos a week, only 2. Like, they say you're working too fast, we can't read it all the time. I'm like, well, that's a you problem. We're coming up to the end of the PhD. We gotta get this done. So there you go, besties. That was the meme review this week. I'd love to know what your favourite meme was, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!